Well, like to your point, like you said before, you know, so you're 23 years old at the time. You said before, you're in Us Weekly, you're in every publication, print, digital, you're trending. We don't need to like rehash Puppygate because everyone knows the exact like steps. There's 20,000 steps out there we could all Google, but like,
Yeah.
I mean, you're at your job, like you're just doing your job.
Yeah.
Like, are you shocked that, you know, a text and just this whole thing where you work became like the central, because like you're going into a new season of Beverly Hills. There's always something like, I mean, are you shocked that you are now like you and John Sessa are like literally at the center of this entire major TV show that people are watching all over the world, and you're just trying to earn your paycheck at 23?
Oh yeah, 100%. I'm like, how did like a series of like 10 text messages literally turn into like a whole like crazy situation? And it was, I don't know, it was crazy, it was interesting, and I, you know, just kind of had to, I don't know, it was very interesting because I didn't even know that like, when filming was happening, all of us were blindsided, like Lisa, John, and I, because we had no idea that all this shit was going to go on in the Bahamas. Because like at that point, we thought it was over with. We thought it was done. Like we had moved on. We got the dog back. Like everything was fine. Like we were literally like, okay, like this was like a great 2-week situation that we were in, but we were all fine. We thought it was over. And then when like Teddi brings out text messages in the Bahamas, like we were all blindsided. Like Lisa called me from the Bahamas and she was like, what is going on? Because like literally it's like I didn't even remember sending those texts necessarily because they were so like minuscule in my mind. Like I didn't even like think about it. She was like, were you texting Teddi about the whatever? And I was like, I mean, I guess, yeah. Like I just didn't even remember what exactly I said. I had to literally like scroll up. She was like, well, she showed me a screenshot where you said that like that I told you to tell you. I was like, no, I literally have it right here. And she just cropped it. Like, I never said that. So it's just like, it was just like a weird situation where we were all kind of just like literally just like so blindsided by it. Cause we literally thought that the conversation was done. Like we thought it was over. And then because they have nothing else to talk about, they bring it back up.
Were you like, you know, I assume you don't report directly into Lisa. Like, were you shitting a brick when your phone rings and it's like Lisa Vanderpump asking you about specific words and texts that you sent? Like, I mean, I would shit.
Like, oh yeah, I was like, oh God, she's gonna be so mad at me. But you know, honestly, it was not that it was fine, but you know, it's like we, you know, I just, you know. And that's the thing too, is Lisa's always just like, say your truth, speak your truth. And I was like, listen, like, this is what happened. And the other thing too, which is extra messy, is, like I said, it wasn't Lisa that told me to tell Teddi. It was actually John Sessa. He told me 3 times to text Teddi because he knew that he and I were friends and he wanted it out there. And Lisa didn't, which is also interesting because if you actually watch the first episode of the season, like Hannah is the one who's the adoption coordinator who's dating HUD, Teddi's little brother. She actually had the dog and she was bringing it over because John told her to, because like in our heads we all thought that like Lisa wanted this, but Lisa didn't, and it was actually John Sessa, and because he wanted to take Dorit down basically for being the way that she is. And Lisa saw that Hannah was bringing the dog over, and if you look at it, she goes over towards like the front counter and is literally like, no, like don't do this. And that's when John brings the dog, because Lisa was stopping Hannah from bringing the dog, and then John brings the dog into the situation, and that's when everything kind of spiraled out of control from there. But it's just very interesting because it's also like, you know, I was basically used for not Lisa's dirty work, but John's dirty work. He's like not even involved. Like, you know what I mean? It's just like, it's just so interesting because it's like he basically used like my personal friendship with Teddi to create like a whole storyline, which was unnecessary. But again, it's like I would have told Teddi regardless. I just like wouldn't have like done it like right that second because it just happened the day before, which is why everybody was on edge.
But did John Sessa then use you to create a storyline, or did John Sessa use you because like dogs are his life and he just was like livid that Dorit would do things this way?
Both. he I don't know. I just think that he likes being on TV and he wants to be on TV. And like personally, I don't really give a shit. So I'm like, I just would prefer being like the social aspect. Like I can be friends with everybody on TV, but like I don't need to be on it. But I think that he like likes it and he wants to be on it. Like he's like pushed people out of the way. Like when we filmed for Vanderpump Rules, he's like pushed like employees out of the way so he can like get on camera. I'm like, that is sad and depressing for your life and soul, but whatever.
And it also doesn't work that way. Like you could be on camera for 17 hours, sweetie. If you're not part of the storyline,
no,
there's not 1 minute of it which will be seen on TV.
No.